We're here with Rob Salthouse, rig coordinator at Alinghi Red Bull Racing. You just finished the last day in Jeddah for this time around. How was the day and the trip in general?
Oh, it's been fantastic. Again, the conditions have somewhat been testing at times with the sea state and so forth, but for sailing and that, it's been unbelievable. Been really good.
You've got the hotel just 20 metres across the road from the base. How efficient has this operation been? Do you think it's given the team a significant advantage in the campaign?
It's definitely been good. I mean, there's not much else to do in Jeddah. So we come to work, go back and repeat it the next day. So yeah, it's been really efficient from that side of things.
Yeah, the boats have been put through quite a bit of hard testing. What's the state of the boats overall right now?
Oh, they're in pretty good nick. I think I'll have some good checks done over the next couple of days and maintenance and so forth. We certainly have put them through some tests, tried them in the air this time, and so you know, that side of it's been quite good for the guys just to look at varying conditions, because we've done a lot of sailing in light air, not a lot in the sort of upper range, so it's been good.
And just moving on to the rigging, how often are you changing the shrouds?
The strops and that we have a regular period that we change them in it, and then we'll take the old strops away and test them, and just to make sure that we're still staying within the numbers that we want. So yeah, it gets done reasonably regularly.
And what sort of tolerances are you dealing with?
With the shrouds, you're never skimping, so they're well above the safety factors that you would normally put there.
And what sort of alterations can you make, or what can be done to account for these differences?
The two rigs are really set up as one design rigs as they are, and the tensions and rig tune is exactly how we've sailed the regattas, so nothing's changed on that side of it.
And what sort of testing of the rig on the AC40 can you scale up to the 75?
There's not a lot rig-wise, it's more sails and what we look at there. So you know, my job is to try and keep the two boats as close as we can, so we can do reasonable testing and get some results.
And how are you testing the rig off the boat, let's say on the 75 mast?
In terms of the rigs themselves, we'll do very similar testing to our strops and so forth, and you know, you look at bend test numbers and so forth, but nothing out of the ordinary that you wouldn't do with any normal race boat.
The sailors pulled off some impressive nosedives just a couple of days ago. What sort of damage does that do to the rig?
Not a lot. It does definitely put them under a fair bit of strain, but I mean, the boats have been designed to take that, and you know, the rigs and that get well inspected each night, so it hasn't been too much. We get a little bit of damage on bat and bumpers that come unglued because of the loads that go on those at times, but in general terms, we've had very little issues.
The Red Bull. We're here with Andrea Zonia, performance engineer here at Rossa, Prada, Pirelli. Andrea, looked like another productive sailing day. Can you break it down for us?
Well, pretty much drills around the race course, starts and then laps. Let's say good breeze, Mistral, so not so many waves. So a good day to, let's say, refine the technique, going precise. Then when there are waves, it's more on the, let's say, on the improvisation a little bit more. But today was good to have really good data and good, academic data, let's say, for us designers.
Would you say the boat reached all the targets for the day?
Well, we had a program. We pretty much did all that was on the list.
And can you describe us what you were monitoring exactly today?
On the control systems, pretty much we monitor that everything works well, and then the good thing, you cannot spot the upgrades, especially in software, so we check what we put new, if there is anything new, and we possibly tune it.
If I'm not wrong, you designed the flight and brake control system, flap especially. Considering the asymmetric wings, how asymmetric are the controls?
On the top side, not much. In the end, let's say, yeah, in straight line you can see performance differences, but once you get to maneuvers, let's say, the rig part is symmetric, let's say, while you have some, let's say, difference in actuation in the flaps, but you wouldn't really tell much difference at this stage of the campaign.
And in terms of scaling, considering the big boat arriving, bigger loads, and so how do systems like flap control systems and so on scale?
Let's say you have a theoretical scaling factor coming from the designers, and then let's say on the flight where you are battery powered, it's pretty straightforward. While when the grinders will go on board, we will know if our scaling factor was right or not.
Andrea, ci lasci un commento in italiano per i supporter sulla Rossa.
Barcellona si avvicina e continuate a tifare per noi e ci vediamo tra poco.
Lucas Calabresi, you were steering on the American Magic AC40 today. Just one boat rather than two boats. What was the thinking there?
We just want to keep working on different crew configurations and different techniques. So that's the plan for this week. And then we are going to get back to two-boat racing next week. And also Tom's gone for SailGP, so it's easier to do just with one boat.
We think we saw that you'd swapped the mast between the two boats this morning. There was quite a long setup on the water, just looking at the starboard foil. Were we right about the mast?
Yeah, the mast, the other one just has a little bit of damage, and they want to make it look a little nicer when we're back with two boats sailing, so that was the reason of the swap.
Okay. On the water on a day like this today, how much are you on autopilot and how much are you sailing the boat manually?
It's a mix of both. We're obviously learning from the autopilot, but at the same time we gotta learn how we're gonna race the boat 3. So it's just a mix of both and learning the pros and cons of each configuration and learning how to do it with 4 people.
So when might you be flying the boat yourself? In through the maneuvers maybe?
Well, I'm gonna have to let you guess in that one, but yeah, I mean everybody's pretty busy on this boat. It's only 4 people, it's 4 afterguard doing a lot of the work, so everybody has a lot on, and it was great to get a couple good laps in with good flight time, and obviously we didn't have the breeze we wanted, but we got the most out of it.
When you're in that race mode, what's the mood like on the boat? You're racing against yourself just as one boat. Is that kind of difficult?
I mean, obviously you're trying to push the limits as much as you can. It was very downrange. They were at between 6.5 and 7.5 knots, so that was the biggest challenge, really. But again, this is all in preparation to when we start racing both boats against each other, so we're just looking forward to that.
We saw some towing issues, kind of uncharacteristic of you guys. What was going on there?
We just had an issue with the main sheet ram when we towed up, but yeah, no big deal. We got solved and it's all good.
One of the aborted ones was quite precarious. It looked pretty scary, nearly a capsize.
Yeah. I mean, we were doing a one board tow up, and we had an issue with the main sheet. So yeah, it's good that nothing happened, but yeah, it wasn't a serious one, really.
Let me just ask you quickly about the sails you're using, custom sails on the boat today. Is there anything about these sails that is very different to what we've seen before? Is there an opportunity to be radical with the sails?
There might be. It's a good question. I mean, what we're trying to do is cover ourselves for all the ranges of wind we might get here in Barcelona. Like as you said today, it could be 6-7 knots, and then you could also get up to 20 knots. So the challenge here is to be prepared for anything. So what we're trying to do with all the sails we have is understand how we can make them work through all the ranges, really.